How young people, I mean, this Ramadan when we're growing up was not as popular. People didn't even talk about it. Now people who are practicing it do it. Those who are outside also want to understand it. And by and large, I think our country has grown to the point where everybody respects the 30 days of the Muslim fasting. How should the youth relate to it? You know, because those who are not Muslims here, they say, hey, 30 days, you eat, you die. So how should the youth relate to it?
Well, first of all, the reason the youth, every Muslim needs Ramadan. Mm-hmm. And the verse that establishes the month of Ramadan is somewhere, Quran chapter 2, verse 183. And it says, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may learn piety. Mm-hmm. Or others will say, so that you may become righteous. Mm-hmm. But the Arabic word that they translate as piety or righteousness is taqwa. Taqwa generally, in my estimation, is God consciousness. Mm-hmm. So the purpose of Ramadan is to cultivate God consciousness in you, that 24 hours of your life in the month of Ramadan, everything that you are doing must be God focused, basically. Mm-hmm. That's the purpose of Ramadan. And the reason I say that the youth require it even more is that it is in your youthful days that your passions are wilder, okay, and therefore need taming. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't know whether you get the point. We all have our animal aspects, if you want. Mm-hmm. And so at every point in time, you need certain moral and ethical restraints, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. okay, for your wilder passions. Mm-hmm. And in the month of Ramadan, you will find that Ramadan is the most powerful, if you want, tranquilizer, mm-hmm. okay, for calming our baser instincts and so on. Because in the month of Ramadan, from dawn to dusk, you are not supposed to eat, you are not supposed to drink, you are not supposed to engage in sexual intercourse, backbiting, lying, fighting, arguing, all of those what we call them either evils or social indiscretions are banned in the month of Ramadan. So hopefully by the time 30 days comes, you know, you would have internalized the quality. Okay, but you see, Paul, we are human. And in Islam, we are told that there are three kinds of souls. The soul of a human being. They call something the soul that is prone to evil. You know, there are people who are just evil, you know, and all the time they are choosing wrong over right. So now Islam says that activities like fasting, prayer, recitation of the Quran, chanting God's names, the Muslims call it zikr. All of these things help you to purify your soul and move you from a soul that is prone to evil to a second stage of development, of spiritual development, where your soul becomes the self-accusing soul. You know, and so when we say a self-accusing soul, they call it nafsan lawama. A self-accusing soul is the soul that it does evil, it comes to consciousness, asks for forgiveness, you know, almost like a child that is learning to walk. It will walk a bit, fall, stumble, try to get up. That's where the majority of humans are. And then also, these spiritual exercises that we engage in the month of Ramadan is supposed to move us even beyond nafs lawama to mutma'inna, which is the soul at peace, where you have gotten to a point where you now have power, mastery over your soul, and therefore mastery over your baser instincts, and therefore have the power to resist wrong and to resist evil. You see, so if you put your ears to the ground, I mean, for those of us who are Zongo children and so on, there's the general notion that we are wild people. You know, in Hausa, we don't take no nonsense and stuff like that. But in the month of Ramadan, do you hear trouble? No. Do you hear there's trouble in some Zongo community, people are fighting? And, you know, no, they won't. Ramadan, like I said, to repeat my term, is a powerful tranquilizer for re-engineering the moral and ethical behavior of young people. So that's basically what Ramadan
that's very
is.
well said. That's very, very powerful. Very, very. Okay, so we are wishing people a happy Ramadan. So let's put the photographs on. So this is from, it's Eid Mubarak from Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia. And this is from Samira Baumia. Eid Mubarak also from Mustapha Hamid. That's not how he spells it.
That's not how I spell my name.
It's M-I-D, not E-E-D.
Hamid. You know, there's this Mustapha Hamid.
I've been seeing him. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, MP for Tamale South, says Eid Mubarak. Then Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, Sports Minister, says Eid Mubarak. Then this is Honorable Farouk Aliu Mahama, MP for Yendi, says Eid Mubarak. And Mubarak Muntaka, MP for Asawase. This is Habib Idrisu, Deputy Majority Chief Whip, MP for Tolon. And Honorable Tahiru Hammond, Minister of Trade and Industry, MP for Adansia Sokwa. Eid Mubarak also for Mahama Yariga, MP for Boku. Eid Mubarak Al-Hassan Tampuli, Deputy Transport Minister, MP for Gushegu. And this is Mutala Mohammed, MP for Tamale Central, says Eid Mubarak. And Honorable Ben Abdullah, Chairman, Hajj Board, says Eid Mubarak. Okay. Thank you very much.